I think it's noon now, so it's not really good morning. I guess it's afternoon, but you may be watching this at a totally different time. We're just leaving here at Huntington Beach. We're dumping the gray tanks and getting out of here. We're getting back to the mountains. If you've seen last week's episode, you'll know that Rachel has sun poisoning, and if you have ever read about that, it could be a fairly debilitating thing, and the symptoms of it, they last for 2 to 3 weeks potentially. So yes, we're going to Grayson Highlands, the mountains of Virginia, but what we may be able to do, don't know at this point. So that's why it's important to wear your sunscreen. So friendly reminder, if you're fair skinned and you don't see the sun much, when you come out into the sun, wear your stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna call this episode The Road to Nowhere, because as far as I know, we're going nowhere. But hopefully it's cooler there and less buggy, and at the very least, hopefully we'll be able to relax some, and hopefully there won't be traffic. Could take a while to get where we're going. It says 5 hours and 40-some minutes, I believe. It's the better part of the journey home, which is good, because then when we leave on Sunday, we'll just boogie back home and be done. So I think the gray's out. Not dumping the black here because we'll just dump it on Sunday. So that's it. We'll see you on down the road. Well, I'm not hating on the beach, but I am liking this twisty mountain road. I don't think Rachel is. She'd rather be back at the beach.
I like the beach.
But I know with elevation gain comes cooler temperatures. That seems to be holding true because it's already only 76 degrees where we're at compared to 90 where we were. So, yeah. That at least is good. Hopefully there's no bugs where we're going, because I'm about sick of them too. So we have indeed made it to the mountains here at Grayson Highlands. We're nearing 5,000 feet, so we've went from sea level all the way to 5,000 feet today. As you might have seen in the time lapse, setting up the rig, I bumped into the door and ripped open my back, so now I have a big gash in my back and it's bleeding through my shirt, so I got that going for me. So the obstacles continue to build up. But I'm going to break from this week's tradition and try to give you guys a definite plan of what we're doing. But it might get all muddled up. They have this nice handy dandy map here. Tomorrow, after breakfast, we're going to just try to ease our way into things here. It might rain tomorrow, but we don't know. And there's no self-service here to figure it out. But we're going to head over to the visitor center in the morning. This place, it looks like there's enough here that I'm almost positive that we're going to be coming back here at some point in time. I can already tell by the overlooks and things that this is my type of place. This is what I like. It's 60 some degrees out right now. There might be mosquitoes, but not that many. And yeah, I mean, compared to South Carolina, this is more up my alley. I do feel bad for Rachel. She's a little low on energy because of the sun poisoning. We stopped at Walmart on the way up here to get some supplies and stuff, so I think we're restocked and kind of hitting the reset button a little bit here and trying to hope that all of our moods improve throughout the duration of this next 3 days. We just need a little bit of luck. And judging by what happened with the door, I don't think we're getting it. Alright, good morning friends, here from Grayson Highlands in Virginia. We're gonna take this day kind of easy. We're headed over to the visitor center and we're gonna either do the Listening Rocks Trail or the Pinnacle Trail. Not sure which. Or we might do both, depending on time and energy levels. But we might also go and do a little bit of a drive this afternoon. I do not. We need the map. Question is, what did I do with it?
Thank you.
Okay. Are you excited to go see the visitor center?
Yeah. She said, one of our neighbors said that there's some handmade banjos in there that I'm excited to see.
Oh, well that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Alright. So let's go see what we find. Friends, as you can see, we've decided to do the Twin Pinnacles trail, and I'm pretty excited about it because it says up on the top of the pinnacles you'll have a 360-degree view, and that includes into North Carolina and Tennessee. So I mean, that's pretty awesome, I think. It says there used to be red spruce trees up here, but that because of the heavy logging back in the day, there's very few of them left. but they're looking to bring them back, which is pretty cool. Because red spruce is a fairly rare tree just because it likes the higher elevations. Logging throughout the eastern United States has pretty much ruined their population. Friends, I always find these types of things fascinating. When a tree can grow on top of a rock and it's got like roots and stuff that go down the sides, it's just crazy. What's even better is when they grow on top of like an old stump or a log or something, and the stump or the log decays and then you get like a tunnel. But yeah, it's just fascinating what trees can do. So it's really quite windy up here, friends. But what's really cool is I've been seeing all these orange azaleas in bloom, and orange azaleas have always been my favorite, but I've never seen them out in the wild, so that's pretty cool. And you can see there are quite many red spruce popping out everywhere, and it really makes a picturesque landscape with all the rocks. And this trail gives me a Mary's Rock vibe, which we did last year at Shenandoah National Park, which, I mean, it's also located here in Virginia, so it makes a lot of sense. It's kind of that mixed with the Tennessee and North Carolina stuff we did. The views are not that great because it is quite hazy, but if they're this good when it's hazy, think of how good it'd be on a clear day. So something, friends, that I never really realized is that back when this was untouched by man and these huge red spruce trees were up here, the sun never hit the ground because it couldn't get through the forest canopy. And after it was all timbered out, it was barren wasteland. The ground dried out to a point where nothing could really grow here. But although they did use it as pasture land, so there were some grasses and things. But it was also ravaged by wildfire at that point because everything was just so dry. And it's windy up here, obviously, because you're at the top of the ridge, so things dry out. And once there's a wildfire, it just spreads rapidly. So that's not really something I ever really gave much thought to, but it's very interesting how that occurs. Now, there's a burnt piece of wood on the ground here, which I'll show you. But like you can see around us, the red spruce are starting to make a comeback, which is awesome. And eventually, someday, a couple hundred years from now, hopefully this will look just like it did before man was even here. So, you know, there is hope for future generations. You know, this will be like my kids, grandkids. They might get to come here someday and see trees here like what we've seen up in the Allegheny National Forest at Heart's Content. So that'll be really cool for someone someday. So friends, I know if you're from out west, or you've been out west, 5,100 feet is nothing. It's less than half of the mountains in Colorado. Listen, I've been to 13,000 feet. Climbed it, actually. So I understand. But we're not really in a position in life right now where we can travel out west, at least with the RV. And we've already gone over why we don't travel by other means. And the goal of this channel, or at least one of them, is to show people here on the East Coast that might be in a similar situation to us. You know, we have jobs and a limited amount of vacation time, but you can still have an awesome adventure. And there's still mountains and things to see. And you seen back on Little Pinnacle how you can look for miles and just see more mountains. And we shown you that in North Carolina last year. And I guess just what I'm saying is, don't discount what you have around here, because there is some truly special things in this area. Friends, that truly is a 360-degree view up there on Big Pinnacle. And off in the distance, we think we can see what is Mount Rogers, where we're going to attempt to reach the Virginia High Point tomorrow. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you that we're going to make it, because it'll be a long hike. Probably the longest we've done this year. And it might just be me making it to the top. I don't know. We'll see. But that's my intent. This is kind of a year of the high points for us. We've shown you Maryland already. If we can get there tomorrow, it'll be Virginia. We're going to be doing Massachusetts, which should be easy because you can drive to. So subscribe to the channel for high points, because in next week's episode, hopefully you will see Mount Rogers. Back there, that other trail from Big Pinnacle with the yellow blazes will take you down to the circular parking lot that you could see from the top. But then the red blazes will take us back to the visitor center where we started. We're gonna head back there, buy a few trinkets, get a magnet for the fridge or whatever, and I'm not sure what we're gonna do for the rest of the day. So friends, all along this trail they do have some storm shelters. They say on the pamphlets that they hand you when you check in that that storms move in very quick here, and I'm assuming that's because of the elevation and how high we are compared to everywhere else. You'll see in some of the time lapses up at the Little Pinnacle, I think that's where I took it, or Big Pinnacle, how quickly the clouds are moving in. And so that's just a little bit of a way to gauge that, the speed of the clouds. But what they're saying on the pamphlets is they want you to really be mindful of the weather forecast. But here's the problem. There's no cell service here. So how are you supposed to have an up-to-date weather forecast? Because if you're looking at something several hours out and things move that quickly, then the situation could change very rapidly. So you really have to be prepared on your hikes for rain and storms. But the shelters are a good fail-safe. But that's why we're choosing to do the bigger hike tomorrow, because the weather has dictated that. Today they said there was a chance for some sort of storms, and there were last night as well. Friends, that's going to conclude this episode for basically our intro to Grayson Highlands State Park. But don't worry, we're just gearing up, kind of regrouping, and we're headed on another journey. We're going to head to Scales. It's going to be kind of an off-road journey for you, perfect for our current circumstances. So be sure to subscribe so you can tune in next week. We'll show you how to get there and all the good stuff. It's going to be fun. We've heard good things, and so that's where we're headed next week. If you haven't got enough of Virginia camping and you can't wait till next week, this would be a good time to check out our Virginia RV camping playlist. There's going to be a link to that here at the end of this video. And thanks again for watching.